Joe Rogan pissed a lot of people off on his podcast recently with his comments that he made about wokeness and cancel culture, and I agree with him somewhat about what he said, because I'm tired of seeing people talk about equality when in reality all they want is superiority. I'm tired of people saying we want to be inclusive, we want everyone to come in, we want everyone to be a part of this, we want a better world, except for the white people, because you have white privilege and you oppress us all. Everyone join us. No white person needs to be here, even if you're an ally, because secretly you have privilege, and if we can't use your power to get what we want, we don't want you here. Everyone join us. If you are white, you better stay the fuck away from me, because it's obvious that people don't really want to add white people to that conversation. Some people don't want to add white people to that conversation. I have to say some, because some people have selective hearing and want to say that I'm talking about every single human being on planet Earth who has a fucking hot take to spew. Play the fucking Joe Rogan clip.
Never be woke enough. That's the problem. It keeps going. It keeps going further and further and further down the line. And if you get to the point where you capitulate, where you agree to all these demands, it'll eventually get to straight white men are not allowed to talk.
Right.
Because it's your privilege to express yourself when other people of color have been silenced throughout history. It will be, you're not allowed to go outside because so many people were imprisoned for so many years. I mean, I'm not joking.
No, I know.
It really will get there. It's that crazy. You know, we just got to be nice to each other, man. And there's a lot of people that are taking advantage of this weirdness in our culture, and then that becomes their thing. Their thing is calling people out for their privilege, calling people out for their position. You know, it's fucking crazy times.
Yeah. I would disagree with Joe on the idea that people are going to get shunned so far that they're stuck in their homes. Nobody on social media has that power. I don't care how many followers you have. I don't care how many subscribers you have. You don't have the power to have somebody stuck in their homes unless you're an actual person who can sit somebody down and keep them locked in a room like Big Tyrone can. None of you have that power. I don't have that power. You watching this doesn't have that power. But think about it. Where does this weird mindset Joe Rogan came up with out of the blue comes from? And if you see the reaction to this, you will see exactly what the fuck he is talking about. A bunch of people discrediting him. A bunch of people saying that they wish they had millions of dollars to speak in front of a microphone and talk on a podcast where they talk about how they can't be listened to, about how they're invalidating what Joe is saying because he's white and he has white privilege and he's a white male and he doesn't understand the plight of every single other race on planet Earth because he's white. It's understandable how people would look at Joe and say, no, he's a white man. I've suffered worse than him. He's talking about white people. How dare he? Black people are suffering. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Take the time to sniff what he is saying and you will find the bullshit where the person is actually taking the shit. And honestly, if you take the time, you will realize that what he's saying, with the exception of people being locked in their homes, is actually quite substantial. Take a look at my content. I've been called a coon, an Uncle Tom, a hater of all black people, someone who can't fight, someone who's clout chasing. I'm apparently gay. I have industrialized biphobia, even though I'm bisexual. I have all these different things from people who can't articulate their own arguments just because they disagree with me, but instead want to throw insults at me. There are a bunch of people who take the time to dig up shit from 2008 and act like that's relevant news today and try to cancel somebody who has more followers and money than them. There are people who take the time to live like this. There are also people who make money off of this. Those are the same people that go back in 2008, dig up somebody saying the N-word and act like that person is still a racist human being today. I'm talking specifically to Teen Vogue in this instance. It's weird watching all of this, and it's also weird watching people get called out and actually try to debunk everything Joe is saying by actually trying to cancel him. You just proved him right. You just proved every single thing that he said, with the exception of white people being locked in their homes, is right, because none of you can articulate a fucking point. And I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about the people who got so offended they tried to cancel Joe. I'm talking about the people who spend their time canceling people and seemingly somehow getting paid for that. I'm talking about the people who have no fucking backbone, who can't articulate anything that they spew, that they're so desperate for people to agree with them, that they will block individuals who say, I have a couple questions about that. I'm talking about you. Learn how to articulate your points. Learn how to have conversations with people who disagree with you, and you'll actually start to create that equality you keep bitching about. Until then, you will have people like Joe calling you out, pointing out your flaws, pointing out the weird shit you spew, and unless you can defend it and articulate a counterpoint, shut the fuck up, because you're proving everybody right that all you want is superiority, not equality. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.